The brain is a great thing to strategize with, but there's a point in which you got to get back in your heart and you got to put yourself on the line and do something. So if you're going to thrive this year, bring certainty to your decision making by just putting yourself in that state and trusting. Trust your creator, not just a manager of life. What do you have to do? Get a vision for what you want. What else? Decide. And step 4, real quick, act. There is no such thing as a decision without action. A real decision, you cut up things off and you make it happen. You do something. And I've always found in my life, never leave the sight of making a decision to something that's important without doing something in that moment that commits you to follow through. Take some action in that moment. Because otherwise, here's what happens. You get excited or something makes sense to you, you're passionate about it, and you go, I'm gonna go do this. And then you go home and you get caught up in emails and phone calls and other people needing things from you. And the next thing you know, you're out of state and you don't follow through. Has it happened to you before? I can promise you if it hasn't, it will in the future. People that succeed, when an opportunity is there, they trust. They trust. If I'm gonna thrive, this is here in my life for a purpose. Life isn't happening to me. Life is happening for me. And even this pain or challenge or this opportunity is something I gotta find a way to make use of. I need to make a decision and I need to do something right now to move things forward in the direction of what I really want for my life. Even if I don't know the final destination, I need to move in that direction. I need to take some form of action. Most people, they have all these visions. Maybe they start to make a little sort of decision, but they don't make a real decision because they don't act on it. And if you don't act on it, your ideas, your dreams will die in your mind. They'll die on your lips. And think about it. Most people in North America, around the world, the Western world, are they truly fit, strong, and healthy? Do they truly have a relationship that's totally passionate? Do they love their work? Are they economically free? The vast majority, you and I both know the answer is no. If you want to be like most people, then what you got to do is figure out how to survive. If you want to lead, you got to thrive. And you have that capability, and you're probably already doing it. I'm probably speaking to the choir to some extent. If you're still watching this right now, you have turned me off as a raging maniac who's on a rant, because that's what I am. I'm on a rant right now. A rant to call to your soul to say, no matter how great life is, take it to the next level. Find the way to thrive on the very things that stop other people in their tracks. Thrive on what produces fear inside you and in other people. Thrive on something that you envision that you have a higher purpose for. Thrive by being decisive. Thrive by taking massive action. And if the massive action doesn't work, if what you try doesn't work, just simply try something else. And if that doesn't work, try something else. If that doesn't work, try something else until you find what works.
Let's say, you and I are buddies. We want to start a business, or we have a business. Come on, let's crush it. All right, let's do this thing. Let's triple our income this year. Let's make 30% more net revenues. Let's travel the world. Let's live this lifestyle that's amazing. And we get excited. Right? So we go, oh yeah, oh my God, that's great. Let's do this. High fives all around. Dopamine's released. We feel great. We shared with our friends. We release oxytocin. So we bonded. Oh my God, I love you and you love me. And we feel great. We're going to conquer the world. And that happens all the time. But let's say that underneath the hood, there's a fear of, I'm not smart enough, or I'm not good enough, or what if I fail and I embarrass myself? What if I succeed and I can't maintain it? What if I'm ridiculed because I try so hard and my friends will laugh at me? There are 50 different types of fears that are almost in everybody's memory bank that gets brought up to the surface. And when the fear circuit lights up, which is bam, automatically within either moments, hours, or days, when you start realizing, holy shit, what is it going to really take to double or triple my income and to take the time off that I want? As soon as that happens, when the fear circuit lights up, then the system, the neuroelectrical chemical system floods with epinephrine, cortisol, and norepinephrine. What is that? Those are just 3 of the 100 chemicals in the brain that are part of the stress response system. Whenever you and I and everybody watching or listening thinks about or feels that there is potential danger, potential pain, whether it's emotional pain like being embarrassed or ashamed, or financial pain like not being able to have enough money to pay for my food or for my burger or for my cocktails or for my rent or my car or my airline ticket. If there is real or imagined possibility of discomfort, pain, the brake on motivation slams shut and we start to procrastinate. So we have this incredible system that can give us this motivation, the motive for action to go forward, but we have to temper it with our ability to recognize the trigger and the sensation in our body called a feeling that the non-conscious processing part of the brain that gives us this emotion called fear. All fear is processed at the non-conscious level of your awareness and then gives rise into the frontal lobes of the feeling that your body has. The average person that has not been trained feels fear and puts the brake on and goes and retreats into what they're comfortable doing. The successful person, either they may be genetically wired to understand feeling fear and doing it anyway, and turning their fear into fuel, but that's not the majority of people. That's why 90+% of people fail and stay in that position. But you can take that fuel, that hypersensitive rocket fuel, I call it, and utilize it to actually motivate you faster, further than you ever got before.
Yeah.
Fascinating systems. If you don't know how to use them, too bad. It's like not knowing that a gun has got bullets in it and you pull the trigger. Oh, holy shit, just blew my brains out. Not that you'd be able to, say that. They'd be like game over. But ignorance is not your friend when it comes to neurochemistry.
We've all been told that money doesn't grow on trees. And what that is we feel that money is scarce, or in fact, we live in a fear that it's going to run out or going to vanish. And we know that money doesn't vanish. Money's not going away. There's the same amount of money, if not more, around the world than there's ever been. It's not getting smaller. Think about that. Like, really think what I just said. Money is not shrinking, right? In fact, this year, in America alone, and I've said the stats, a lot of you have heard this, but because it boggles my mind, that there's 1,700 new millionaires being created every day in America. Think about that, 1,700 new millionaires every single day in America. Is that 80, doing the math? Yeah. Like every hour, I mean, it's crazy, right? So think about that. And I took some notes here. So instead of the question, and this is one I really want you to think about. What happens is when we think about money is scarce and it doesn't go on trees and we have this feeling that it's getting shrinking and it's going away, what we ask ourselves is this: how do I protect myself? How do I save this money? How do I make sure no one takes what I have? And that mindset keeps you on the sidelines. I want you to say, what about asking yourself a different question? Because here's the thing, if money doesn't disappear, if we know it's the same amount or more, can we agree on that? If it's not disappearing, then all it is money is moving from one group of people to another group of people. Same amount of money, If there's still, let's say there's $100 and you're moving it around amongst a bunch of people, it's just who's getting the chunk of it. There's still $100. The same sum total is there. It's just moving differently. So the question you should be asking yourself is not how do I hold on to what I have? How do I make sure I don't lose any of this? How do I make sure, I keep the lights off at night? I'm not saying you shouldn't be conservative. What I'm saying is, instead of having that mindset, what we should be saying is, how do I become the person? And this is one, write this down. I hope you're paying attention here today, guys. I hope you're not playing with social media, looking around, try to focus on this, because the question should be, how do I become the person where the money is moving to rather than away from? Right? Just the same thought process, just a different shift. Instead of thinking money is scarce and it's going away, no, there's 1,700 new millionaires a day in America alone being created right now. Money's not getting scarce. It's just those people, money is flowing to them, and somebody else who's standing there trying to protect themselves and thinking a scarce mindset, their money is slowly going away. Now, I am surely not going to be an advocate or say that you shouldn't be conservative, that you shouldn't save money, that you shouldn't be smart with your money. Of course you should. But here's what I know. In the evolution of my life of going from that kid living in a bathroom with my dad and not having money and all those things, and I'm not saying that to give you my pitch or my story, but when I look back at when I tried to save and be conservative because I listened to, maybe grandparents that went through the Depression, or listened to people that, it's like, you're crazy. What I realize is, when you change your mindset on money, when you gain the capabilities, and when you take action, it is, in my opinion, you could disagree with me, in my opinion, money is easier to flow to you and make it than it is to save it. I even look at that in my business. I'll be like, hey, let's tighten up on expenses. And I'll look through all these things like, okay, if we tighten up all those, because we're such a big company now, we could save this much. But if I write a new book, if I start a new campaign, if I do some more real estate deals, I can bring in this much with the same amount of effort. Like, save this much or just make this much. How the hell with it? Keep everybody there, keep the lights on. I'm gonna go make it over here. Now, I might be an extreme, but I'd like to give you a little bit of that. That if we stand on the sidelines envying those making more, being not jealous, but like desiring what other people have, but we're afraid because we want to hold on to what we have and be afraid to take action.
How many of you have a crazy dream or a crazy goal? I want you to write out in the comment section, what is your crazy dream? The dream that keeps you up at night is the real dream you should be chasing. But to chase that dream, to find that dream, to make that dream a reality, you need a strategy, right? A dream without a plan is just a wish. Tony Robbins said that, right? A dream without a plan is just a wish.
Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You've got to take risks, and I'm sure you've probably heard that before, but I want to talk to you about why that's so important. You're not even trying. I'll say it again. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. My wife told me this great expression. To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did. He says, imagine you're on your deathbed, and standing around your deathbed are the ghosts representing your unfulfilled potential. The ghost of the ideas you never acted on. The ghost of the talents you didn't use. And they're standing around your bed, angry, disappointed, and upset. They say, we came to you because you could have brought us to life, they say. And now we have to go to the grave together. So I ask you today, how many ghosts are going to be around your bed when your time comes?
How do you biohack the fear? For so long, I wasn't afraid of my possibility of failing. I was afraid that it might work.
It goes to biblical principle, the more you give, the more you receive. So when I meet somebody who's doesn't have any money, it just means they're not giving something. So a lot of times there's people who would like more, but they're not giving anything.
if I have a habit over and over beginning to stack one on top of the other of keeping promises I make to me, not other people. In other words, the minute you begin to get external in your life, worrying about what other people think about you, right? You've lost all control. And it never fills you up. And people's admiration, people's gratitude towards you will never fill you up. It's your own. It's your own inside. And so for me, self-confidence comes from keeping the promises I make to myself. And the other part of it is being aware I'm doing it.
Fear is the most subtle and destructive of all human diseases. What's the benefit of allowing fear to hold you back? What's the benefit of giving up on yourself, of not stepping out on life and taking life on? What is the benefit for you? What's the plus in that?
You'll come up with your own style. That's part of the fun.
And going back through all the hard parts over and over again, I told myself after the first time, I knew it was gonna be a long journey there. My body was breaking down. It was just how it was going on. I said, you know what, this is my new norm. Every day suffering, being broken, duct taping my feet up, stress fractures, shin splints, being broken. This is my new norm.
Fear may have us sitting on a great concept or idea, or it may restrict us from using our true talents. But what if there was a way to turn fear into fuel? When you look closer, you'll find there's nothing there. Instead of allowing negative thoughts to affect you emotionally to the point of indecision or inaction, put your logical brain to work in your favor. Ask yourself, how can I?